I'm not sure about you, but I've certainly had experiences that left me utterly baffled at a restaurant. Imagine being out with a friend, someone you know is genuinely successful and financially secure, yet they exhibit a peculiar meticulousness with their cash. They're not just being cheap, mind you, but incredibly intentional about every single dollar that leaves their wallet. Sometimes these small acts of extreme frugality create an awkward silence that settles over the entire table. One vivid memory involves a friend asking the waiter if they could substitute a basic napkin and tap water for a $4 side salad that came with their meal. Another time, at a bustling brunch, this same individual whipped out a literal calculator, meticulously splitting a $23 check down to the absolute last cent. It was almost absurd, as they even tried to factor in the hypothetical thermal energy cost for whoever happened to be sitting closer to the heating vent. You just sit there, dumbfounded, thinking, how on earth does this person, who clearly earns a six-figure income, behave this way? These moments always make me reflect deeply on my own relationship with money and how I instinctively react to it. So today, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating psychology behind these perplexing behaviors. It might genuinely surprise you to learn how little these actions have to do with the actual money itself. Dr. Brad Klontz, a renowned financial psychologist, has extensively studied what he eloquently refers to as money scripts, which are essentially those deeply ingrained, often unconscious beliefs about money. Dr. Brad Klontz, a distinguished financial psychologist, delves into the intricate patterns he defines as money scripts. These aren't just casual thoughts. They are deeply embedded, often subconscious beliefs about finances. These beliefs are typically ingrained within us during our early developmental years, a crucial time when our understanding of currency and its true value is still nascent and incomplete. Individuals who exhibit extreme caution and meticulousness in their spending habits frequently develop what's known as a money vigilant script. This script instills a profound conviction that an impending financial disaster looms perpetually, just out of sight, ready to strike. For them, it's as if their very brain is equipped with a highly sensitive money alarm, triggered by even the most trivial indication of expenditure, regardless of its actual financial impact. Extensive research indicates that the origins of this intense vigilance often stem from one of two primary sources, shaping their entire financial outlook. One common root lies in observing parental figures grappling with intense financial stress throughout childhood, experiences that inevitably leave lasting psychological imprints on a developing mind. Alternatively, it can be born from a personal encounter with profound financial trauma, such as enduring the devastating effects of bankruptcy, or perhaps witnessing the heartbreaking collapse of a cherished family business, a moment that forever alters their perception of security. In a desperate effort to avoid such profound distress, the brain instinctively categorizes these traumatic events under a powerful, subconscious directive: never again. It then proceeds to implement an elaborate internal surveillance system, meticulously monitoring for any potential financial threats, big or small, at every turn. In response to these deeply impactful financial traumas, the brain instinctively processes these memories, filing them away under an indelible subconscious directive, a powerful never again marker. Simultaneously, it activates an intricate, always-on internal surveillance system meticulously designed to detect and avert any potential future threats to financial security. However, the perplexing truth is that this pervasive hypervigilance isn't solely a product of direct personal experiences with past economic scarcity or hardship. Remarkably, some of the most obsessively penny-conscious individuals one might encounter are those who were raised in environments of substantial financial comfort. This seemingly paradoxical behavior becomes clearer when we recognize that their well-to-do parents were themselves often exceptionally thrifty and acutely cost-aware. As a result, these children effectively inherited a profound financial anxiety, acquiring the intense fear without ever personally confronting the actual harsh realities of true economic struggle.
It's a powerful psychological phenomenon, akin to developing the debilitating symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder from a significant conflict they never actually lived through.
Thus, one can experience a deeply unsettling, visceral money anxiety permeating their entire body, even when their personal lived experience offers no rational basis for such intense fear. The reason lies in the primal nervous system, which operates independently of rational thought. It simply registers that the very act of spending money feels inherently dangerous, a baffling sensation one struggles to articulate. This deeply ingrained, often subconscious, financial caution manifests in visibly irrational behaviors, such as the meticulous reuse of disposable Ziploc bags until they are visibly tattered and barely functional. Another prime illustration is the decision to drive an excessive 11 miles out of their way solely to save a meager 9 cents per gallon on gasoline. This often occurs despite the undeniable fact that their vehicle simultaneously consumes a significant $3 worth of fuel just to complete the journey to the cheaper pump. While the straightforward arithmetic unequivocally demonstrates a financial loss in such scenarios, the underlying psychology, steeped in this inherited anxiety, provides a perfectly consistent and compelling explanation. The mathematical calculations might not align, yet the deeper psychological drivers behind these behaviors are undeniably sound. Beyond the inherited anxieties, there exists another distinct category of extreme saver, one whose motivations stem from a different, often unconscious origin. These individuals unwittingly weaponize extreme thriftiness as a subtle, pervasive form of control, a coping mechanism in a world they perceive as relentlessly unpredictable. Dr. Sarah Newcomb, a distinguished researcher at Morningstar, has dedicated her work to dissecting these intricate financial behaviors, shedding light on the underlying human patterns. Her extensive studies reveal a profound truth. When individuals experience their lives as spiraling beyond their grasp, they instinctively clutch onto the solitary thread of control they can find. They seize this perceived control with both hands, gripping it so tightly that their metaphorical knuckles turn stark white, a desperate assertion of agency. Indeed, when the major anchors of life, like the stability of a job, the security of relationships, or even the permanence of one's own home, slip from our influence, then the stark choice between a name brand and a generic roll of aluminum foil becomes an unexpectedly potent battlefield for reclaiming a semblance of order. Ultimately, possessing even one small personal domain where you dictate the rules far outweighs the trivial 70 cents you might genuinely save. This deep-seated need explains why we encounter individuals who operate as selective penny pinchers, exhibiting truly peculiar saving habits. They might vehemently refuse to pay for parking, yet without a flicker of hesitation, splurge $2,000 on an obscure, rare vinyl collection. Similarly, these individuals might meticulously clip coupons for everyday necessities like dish soap, only to then lease an extravagant luxury car. The apparent inconsistency in their financial choices is not arbitrary. It's deeply rooted in sophisticated psychological motivations. They embrace austerity in specific domains that grant them a potent surge of control, while simultaneously indulging freely in others that cater to an entirely different, profound emotional requirement. Let me now challenge your perceptions a little further. Leading psychologists have unearthed a fascinating insight regarding personal finance. They've discovered a genuine sweet spot in money management, a golden mean where individuals diligently practice mindful spending while also consistently setting aside savings. These individuals consistently report an elevated sense of security and profound contentment, a stark contrast to those who dwell at the far ends of the financial spectrum. A moderate, well-considered approach to financial caution is a powerful antidote, capable of significantly boosting your overall mental well-being. Yet, for countless individuals, this middle ground remains elusive. They either struggle to find it at all, or more commonly, blast right past it. This often results in them resorting to extreme measures, like eating instant ramen by candlelight to save a negligible amount on electricity, even when their robust retirement accounts would suggest otherwise. The distinction between what constitutes financially responsible behavior and what veers into psychologically concerning territory is quite astonishingly, incredibly fine. But prepare for a truly mind-bending revelation. The tendency towards either financial extreme, be it compulsive spending or obsessive saving, are fundamentally two facets of the exact same phenomenon. Both behaviors represent profound efforts to manage underlying anxiety, using money as their primary coping mechanism. The compulsive spender chases a fleeting sense of emotional fulfillment through each new acquisition, believing happiness can be bought. Conversely, the vigilant saver endeavors to erect an impregnable castle of security, meticulously stockpiling resources to safeguard against every conceivable, yet often undefined, future calamity. Thus, despite their seemingly opposing methodologies, these two extremes are remarkably similar in their fundamental pursuit, each driven by a shared, deep-seated anxiety regarding financial stability. While their methods diverge, the underlying drive for financial protection connects them. However, we must now delve deeper into the often overlooked social costs of such extreme financial vigilance. People who adhere to extreme penny-pinching habits often find themselves inadvertently constructing barriers, leading to profound social isolation from those around them. Consider the individual who consistently declines social invitations, citing the cost of everything, or the one whose discomfort at any gathering transforms a relaxed happy hour into what feels like a personal hostage situation. This repeated reluctance gradually leads friends to stop extending invitations, fostering a deep sense of loneliness, which in turn amplifies existing anxieties and compels an even tighter grip on their finances. They become trapped in a self-perpetuating feedback loop, a sophisticated defense mechanism concocted by the brain to shield them from perceived threats that, in reality, are largely insubstantial. Shifting focus from individual isolation, it's imperative to acknowledge that financial disagreements stand as one of the foremost catalysts for profound conflict within romantic partnerships. When one partner embodies an ultra-budget-conscious persona, clashing with another who embraces virtually any different financial personality type, conflict isn't just possible, it's fundamentally woven into the very fabric of their shared foundation. From the perspective of the thrifty individual, their partner's spending habits can appear alarmingly reckless, inducing intense feelings of anxiety and vulnerability. Conversely, the partner often perceives the penny-pinching behavior as overtly controlling, suffocatingly restrictive, and ultimately draining all joy and spontaneity from their shared experiences. Crucially, neither party is inherently in the wrong. They are simply navigating life, each propelled by entirely distinct, deeply ingrained money scripts that operate largely on autopilot. There exists a profound paradox wherein these financially stringent individuals frequently possess substantial wealth, yet they find themselves utterly incapable of accessing it for acts of generosity or even personal enjoyment. The truth is, while they possess ample means, a profound psychological barrier prevents these individuals from ever truly tapping into their generosity. Consider the vigilant saver holding substantial personal savings, while a close friend navigates genuine, acute financial distress. Despite a genuine, heartfelt desire to offer assistance and alleviate their friend's suffering, the mere consideration of dispensing money triggers an overwhelming wave of intense anxiety, an almost paralyzing fear that utterly freezes any impulse to help. This crippling anxiety often results in inaction, subsequently plunging them into a deep spiral of guilt and regret, adding yet another layer of emotional turmoil to their lives. Specialists in mental health and financial well-being emphasize a crucial point. Behaviors rooted in compulsive saving can indeed be as detrimental as those of compulsive spending. These issues arise when such stringent behaviors begin to overtly interfere with one's overall quality of life, diminishing personal happiness and freedom. When such a deeply ingrained compulsion starts to actively damage valuable relationships and systematically prevents the experience of authentic joy and spontaneous moments, that marks the definitive boundary where one has moved beyond responsible money management into a complex psychological territory, which truly benefits from professional intervention and support. And what truly astounds me about this phenomenon is the fundamental motivation behind it. Individuals who meticulously and obsessively save are driven by a singular, powerful desire. They want to feel an unshakable sense of security, believing it will protect them from any future hardship. Yet, the profound and heartbreaking irony of this extreme financial restraint is that it seldom delivers the very security they crave. Instead, it frequently engineers the precise opposite outcome, trapping them in a cycle of constant apprehension. Their minds are so consumed by the specter of potential future problems, unforeseen expenses, economic downturns, or personal misfortunes, that they become utterly incapable of experiencing genuine peace or joy in their present existence. This relentless worry condemns them to a life perpetually defined by a feeling of insufficiency, a state of perpetual scarcity, even in situations where genuine financial want has long ceased to be a tangible threat. On one hand, their bank accounts might proudly display substantial, reassuring figures, indicative of robust financial health. Yet, on the other hand, their nervous systems are screaming a completely different story, convinced they are constantly on the brink of destitution. Ultimately, the deep-seated psychology underpinning such seemingly rational, yet profoundly self-sabotaging financial behavior is rarely about the mere accumulation of wealth itself. It delves into much deeper, more primal human needs and struggles: the desperate craving for control over an unpredictable world, the yearning for the elusive security, the ingrained patterns of anxiety management, or perhaps the echoes of inherited trauma passed down through generations. These intricate threads, often a complex blend of all these factors, intertwine in ways that were perhaps adaptive and made perfect sense at some critical juncture in the past. But over time, they have rigidified, hardening into inflexible patterns that no longer serve their well-being, instead hindering their ability to thrive. Adding another layer of complexity, society often inadvertently reinforces this behavior. Thriftiness as a virtue is frequently extolled and socially rewarded, a stark contrast to how other money-related disorders are perceived. Consequently, these individuals who are meticulous and careful in their spending seldom receive the crucial external feedback that might prompt them to critically examine the deeper underlying motivations and emotional drivers behind their specific financial choices. This lack of critical self-reflection keeps them locked in their patterns, unaware that their pursuit of security is ironically creating a continuous state of perceived scarcity. We understand if this exploration has stirred a profound sense of introspection within you, perhaps even a deep discomfort concerning your personal relationship with money. If you felt that jolt, that sudden unease, then consider it a significant breakthrough, a vital moment when a crucial piece of your psychological puzzle has finally fallen into place. This journey into the hidden facets of our financial psychology is far from over, and we invite you to subscribe to continue this illuminating excavation work with us. Furthermore, if you find value in these insights and are inclined to be exceptionally generous, a sentiment we acknowledge as somewhat ironic given our intense focus on frugality, we kindly ask you to consider hitting that join button. Your invaluable support directly fuels the creation of more thought-provoking content, allowing us to delve even deeper into the intricacies of human behavior and financial well-being. We genuinely express our profound gratitude for any contribution you're able to offer, as it truly makes a difference in our mission. Anticipate more captivating discussions heading your way, videos crafted with the same analytical energy and insightful perspective you've just experienced. Each new episode will tackle a distinctly different, yet equally intriguing psychological topic, promising fresh perspectives and compelling revelations. We eagerly await your presence there, ready to continue unraveling the fascinating complexities that shape our lives.